What is up, guys? Wraec here with a new video, and today's Sword Edge Arena. We're going to go into it. We're going to do a bit of PvP. Many of you want to see Williams in PvP. We are going to make that happen, and at the same time, well, not really a guide, I guess, but a little bit of explanations, because this ring phase is a little bit confusing. We saw the first phase. First phase of this game mode was just, well, a little bit like Supreme Arena if you play AFK Journey as well. You fight people based on their ranks. If there are somebody, for example, on rank 30, you are rank 50, and you defeat this guy, you just swap ranks with him, so you are now rank 30, he's rank 50. So that's how you progress this game mode, and the loot in there was based on your highest rank, apparently. It is a little bit confusing, because here it says highest rank, here it says final rank. We're going to see 8,440 if you reached place 1, and then we had the ranking improvement rewards you could earn one time, which basically required you to reach rank 1 as well. So the best way to do it, and I did exactly that because I didn't have a PvP team set up, was just to push directly after reset, to just really rush it and try to push up as fast as possible. So that's why I pretty easily got place 1 a single time, got all the loot, and I'm now at like 27,580 here. And now we are in the ring phase. Ring phase is not very complicated. It seems pretty complicated. The way it works basically is you want to earn those ring points. And ring points you need for the loot in this game mode. There is a leaderboard. It doesn't matter for the loot. Interestingly enough, I only yesterday found this out. But if you check out the ring point rewards, it says 1,800 to infinity basically is 8,440. So as soon as you have hit 1,800, you have max loot. And I did that yesterday. I only played that yesterday, and I'm at 5,600 points right now, so I'm way above everything. The highest people here, we can see we have 20,000 ring points, there are 16,000 ring points, pretty crazy amounts, and yeah, those people all get the same loot. They all get 8,440, which you can then use in the store to buy, for example, yourself a wonderful Origin Artifacts selection chest. One thing to note, those medals, they're called Gallant medals, they don't run out. Next time Sword Edge Arena is there, you will have access to them, so you only really need to get enough to unlock the Origin Artifact chest if this is your desired loot, and then it's not important to get 36,000 within a season. If you can do that, perfect. If you can't, that's alright as well. So, for PvP though, you have to look a little bit at the stats here. We have multiple numbers that are shown, the ring points of the enemy, ring bounty of 400, challenge bounty of 50, winning streak bonus. I have to say, the 400 ring bounty don't really seem to matter. I at least haven't seen that, because look at that, we have a 900 ring bounty here. We could try to defeat this guy maybe. Oh, and for the TBB with the new thing, interesting. I just made this PvP team. I made it yesterday. It is not super great. It worked well enough. It worked well enough for the most part. Obviously, also fueled due to my pretty big stats. Didn't have a D6 Alekita, otherwise we would have felt that. And that's the win. And the thing is, you get 50 ring points for that. The ring bounty never seems to really matter, which I think is quite weird. Mine is at 600, my challenge bounty is at 300, so I'm quite a juicy target. This is what you mostly look for, the number with the sword. So if you see somebody at like 400, like Urknak there, then you really want to attack them, because, well, you get 400 extra points if you defeat them. So the question is, can we, of course? And I have to say, PvP at the moment, a little bit difficult. Alekita, pretty heavy meta. Interestingly enough, the D6 of her is basically when she's defeated, she will cast her Destiny skill again. She has a bunch of on-death effects, so already we're looking at a pretty insane. Here you can see 450 ring points right there. Pretty big destruction, love it. And people use her. Destiny 6, Alekita, with the deific harp on her, and you get a ton of damage. And we are obviously, if you watched my video about, oh, we got a 200 there, nice, about the new Soul Star, you know there was an effect in there that could revive your hero. And the question will, of course, be, is that good on her? Does that work on her? If that works on her, well, obviously she is going to be meta, and it's going to be pretty crazy. So, yeah, I saw a lot of comments on this game mode, saw people saying, well, I only get matched against super strong people. Well, it's a bit of a the question for me. It felt like I never got matched against the strong people. Like the people that really pushed, that were at the top of the leaderboard, somehow never really meet them. And Radian is here, obviously, and Radian is a homie, so we don't attack him. Even though I don't think he even would have been harmed if I did. But at the same time, it's also not worth it because this guy granted more points. So, yeah. TBB still in there. In the high-end PvP, I don't know. Like, I'm not a PvP player. I have a few heroes that have, like, Twine immunity. You can see my DGN doesn't, my PDE doesn't. I used to play SQH in there, who also didn't. I rolled it on the Williams recently. Rolled Twine immunity on him, actually. Even put a PvP roll on him, thought, like, well, didn't really have a super strong PvE roll anyway. At the moment, I just don't need him for anything. So I thought, well, let's just have some fun in PvP with him. And we never really get to see him well, I fear, against those enemies. And the battle record, which is also a sad thing, it gets the auto attacks in there. So my matches from yesterday, which were quite cool, are now sadly all gone. You can see 150, ranking 34, so it's actually one rank behind me. Very interesting. It's that, oh no, it's final ranking from the last mode. Yeah, final ranking from the last mode. I always forget about that. Then we have Dark Rita. But not worth attacking. Has a ton of points here. Ring points. Has a high power, but not worth attacking because I wouldn't get any ring points from him. It's like 0. And only get 50. So it's worth, for me, if I want to progress my ring points, more to attack this guy Artem than it is to attack, well, a much stronger enemy that has a much higher ranking in this game mode. And I'm not sure about this, honestly. Like, well, at the same time, I appreciate a little bit of PvP. And arguably, this system is low spender friendly because you don't really compete. You can use some strategies like the early push I talked about for the first phase where you just push super fast after reset. Then you can just be faster than everybody else. And then you can still get place 1. And even if you are not strong enough to keep it. And I personally had to say when I did it, I didn't have a team that was worth place 1. It was just like a team that I threw together quite quickly, didn't have the right homeowner set up, nothing, lost it immediately, but that's okay. And for the ring points, 1,800. Like, I mean, not everybody will be able to do it, but it is not that difficult. A few wins and you're good. And I think that is quite an interesting thing for this game mode. And while I usually like to compete for place 1, if it's PvP, of course, at the same time, this is fairly easy loot. So it's good, I guess. A lot of players will get a lot of those Gala medals, and even if you don't get the Origin chest every single season, if it's really the Origin chest you want, I saw some people very happy about gear chests, which I thought was interesting. Then again, I'm not really aware of like the needs of people in early and mid game at the moment. Just like a mid game and early game was years ago for me. I recently went through my screenshots, found screenshots from 2020. So yeah, that is quite far away. That is quite far away. But Alikita, madness, by the way, madness. I really want an SSS tier. Sadly, quite rare. So there we have Toby. And again, we can't attack somebody strong here like Josh Siggy. Then again, not even high points there. I don't know, like the ring bounty, the way they explain it, we can check this out in the description here. Ring bounty, only for challengers outside the rings, which I have to say I haven't. Oh, I'm in the ring. I'm in the ring. Okay, that makes sense. I'm in the ring. This is once again one of the things that really are a little bit confusing. This ring mechanic is, to me, I've never seen myself being outside of the ring, so I guess that is mostly the confusing part here. So for me, it's only this. If you are outside the ring, there it says in the ring, then this is interesting for you as well. So there we have 100. Do we have somebody strong? I want to fight somebody really, really strong. Kawasaki. We could fight Norman. Let's see what Norman does. Norman, really great guy, I have to say, by the way. Really great guy. That's a dude from like the main Omega Project Guild before we merged even. And I talk to this guy like every day, every second day. I talk to him a lot. He's a really good guy. Let's see if we can make him a little bit unhappy and destroy his team. What you do to nice people. I see a little bit of the silence there from the Williams. Pretty cool. And yeah, okay, we destroyed him. Which is, of course, always a fun thing to do. He had all of his souls here on Soul Stars in the PvP team. I don't have that. I only have 2. The other ones aren't even. Which is, by the way, a thing that won't work forever. Woo! 11 billion and 250 points here. Come to Papa. I like it. So now we only have to defeat the guy. With my less than optimal PvP team. Again, a little bit of silence there. We get Dove, because I put it on my Alikita. Would have been nice to put it on something else. If you dove the enemy Alikita, by the way, absolute game changer. Because her on death effect wouldn't trigger. So that's pretty crazy. I want to see, like, I want to show you guys like a Williams active skill. Because it looks really good in PvP. It looks really good in PvP. I hope we can make that happen. I hope we can make that happen. I hope we don't destroy him too early, but I'm a bit afraid we have a little bit of an active skill here. Okay. There we go. 8-layer active skill. Would have destroyed the entire team, honestly. It's pretty crazy in terms of dealing damage. And we saw, I had some very nice fights with that. Maybe I can show that. Wait a second. Maybe I can show you some of the results. Okay, because I made screenshots of this because the damage number was so nice. This was both, I believe, against Kenshin. Pretty strong team that we were fighting, and it lasted quite a while. It lasted quite a while because you need to get to this turn 2. You can't get like a turn 1 active, and then you have to have full charges. But this is how it looks then. It's like the DTV weakness disclosure effect, but you get it on turn 2. It feels the same. Though arguably, if your enemy runs like full crowns or something like that, that's a different thing. At the moment, teams are generally quite squishy. Don't run a whole lot of defensive stuff. Don't run a whole lot of crowns. Don't run a whole lot of other, in general, defensive artifacts. Many went for like the fixed snow hearts and go for stuff like this at the moment. So if you have a hero that can deal a lot of damage, it will have a fairly easy time cutting through those teams. So that is a thing to note. But 200 billion damage right there from Williams, and in the second screenshot, same team that we fought, 154 billion. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Most teams are too weak to withstand my team long enough for this guy to actually get to this ult. So is he an optimal choice for my team? Not really. And I can maybe demonstrate that in one more PvP match if we find a suitable opponent. ATL, no, we're not attacking. ATL also a good guy, really good guy I have to say. Absolutely destroying Star Expedition at the moment. Pretty nice. This guy gives 200 points. Maybe a little bit of a higher power number. I don't know, we have to search for it. And they made this annoying countdown here that always shows like when you are at 0. Darth Maul, that is a lot of power. That is great. Might even defeat me as an SS Alikita, but that's not important right now. I just want to show you. Williams in most situations really doesn't help you too much. Really doesn't help you too much. And that is really the more annoying part, yeah. And of course we go for the balance strike Alikita. And you see the little forces marks there below. That's from her passive skill. Rather annoying. And we don't really get a whole lot of silence on the enemy team. And this is for the reason that I already talked about. This guy is not a mage. And him not being a mage really hurts his CC potential. And this also makes him as a supporter really not that optimal. So you use him as a damage hero. If you don't need him as a damage hero though, well, at that end, then it's a bit useless. Wouldn't use LFA in PvP, by the way. Not that useful despite having like a high damage number. Doesn't really work. 250 points for me. Well, okay. That being said, that's really all of it. I can show you the final roll on my Williams, by the way. We don't have a lifestyle on him anymore. It's just 100 million attack, so really low attack for the damage number that you saw. The damage number from the screenshot was with this attack. So pretty cool, I guess. Roll, crit, effect of being hit, Twine Immunity, Defier. I had a very nice roll. I had Defier, Ship Crusher, Hunter's Focus, Skill Damage. Thought it was really cool, but I thought no Twine Immunity. You see, there are still TBBs in PvP. Even if you go for the endgame. TBB is just like, if it works against your team, well, you will probably lose. If you have like an endgame team with a ton of Twine Immunity on it, it doesn't work against you, then she kind of does a little bit of damage. And yeah, I just wanted to put the Twine Immunity here. We got the fire, we got crit. So I'm pretty happy with that. Effect of being healed is of course a bit mediocre. Would have been nice to get CI offset or control precision maybe. just so we get a little bit more CC. But yeah, I don't see him as like a supporter. I thought it might have the chance because we have like this silence here, but it really doesn't work out. It doesn't work out. We don't get too many Bloodsoaked Flowers. Overall, it's just like you wait for his Waterfall of Flowers ult. When that hits, he destroys the enemy team unless it's like a sustain team, and then you are good. That is really the use for him, I believe. If you wanted to run him as a support, you probably are better off running like a BQA. I saw some people running Lady of Blossom Realm Melissa. Didn't see anything good from it, to be honest. Wasn't really impressed. Absolutely Alekita's must-have at the moment. DTV is alrightish. I didn't see him do well in any game modes. I think like its meta is a little bit over. While his weakness disclosure is devastating, at the moment we're mostly looking at way faster fights. And it's bound to get a little bit faster even when we get Alekita upgrades. So Alekita, I think, is that's like if we made a tier list, it would be S tier. EOS was in there. Maybe EOS would even be more useful for my team than Williams. I ran her before. She did very well. Oh, well, we have to see. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, a little bit of PvP shenanigans today. If you have, definitely subscribe to the channel. We still have 70% of people that are not subscribed, which is a horrible number. And at the same time, I wish you a great day. We'll see us in the next one.